Alright guys, welcome to another video, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about something very important. When you follow through your whole process, you are done with your GRE or TOEFL, whatever exams you had to take. Now you are actually ready to go on for your visa interview, and if you haven't done that, that's alright. Sometime around when you are going for your visa interview, you start to look for roommates, you start to really browse around and search for the housing opportunities near the university. And this is really important because you don't get to kind of do this more than once. One thing that you can do wrong in this case is that choose an apartment that is not comfortable enough for you. See, you haven't really visited the property, you haven't really visited your roommates. Most times you get your roommates from the groups, more on that in a bit. But again, you do not know your roommates, you do not know your property, you just barely get any pictures of it. Sometimes you don't even have the pictures of it, and you are selecting that house hoping that you are going to be alright in that house. And by the way, it's not like India. There's a lease over there in most cases. Alright, the lease is in place for 12 months most cases. If you're going for off-campus housing, well, 12 months you cannot move, or they already have some money in advance taken in from you as a form of security. That's about 1 month's rent that you will have to kind of, that just goes out the window. So one mistake and it can make your life in the US or in Canada or wherever you're going, really, it can make your life. I've particularly talked to seniors who are very unhappy with their managers, who are unhappy with how their the supervisors are, and they're not treating them well enough, and it's starting to affect their studies even. So this is really important that you understand that not all of the apartments are good, and not all of the roommates that you find online are going to be worth staying with. So make sure that you follow through this process alright, and everything goes on smooth in this process, because I'm going to be telling you some really important points over here. Alright, so without further ado, I know I've been wasting a lot of time, but I needed to tell you that this is the gravity of the situation over here is very high, and you need to understand that. Alright, so it's housing. You're going to be staying 12 months or 9 months at least in that place where you select. So we gotta make sure that it is good enough for you. Alright, you deserve the best. So let's actually look at this. Let's say that you are going to USC, because I have done this process for this university. I know personally how things go around here. Right, so let's say that you are going to California, University of Southern California. So what you're gonna do first off, what you're gonna think is, alright, I'm gonna do a Google search. Alright, houses near USC. Alright, and I will probably look for some cheap apartments where I can stay, and I don't have to overpay or anything. And at times you will see that people are even going for very expensive apartments. Let me actually tell you how you tackle all of that. Alright, so first off, you'll be on WhatsApp groups. Alright, after you get an admit from that university and you decide that, alright, this is the university I want to go to, you go ahead and look for the WhatsApp groups for that university. Alright, they are usually found on Facebook, or in Facebook groups, or you can actually put up a query in one of my groups on WhatsApp. I have a lot of WhatsApp groups. They're down in the description, and I'm sure there's a latest group which you can join, and you can just ask over there if there's some guy who has been, or someone who has been admitted into this particular university, and you might even get the link over there. Alright, so that you can do. Otherwise, you can go onto ymgrad.com. Alright, go onto the forum section, just write it down over there. I want a group for this university, and someone will comment down below the group link for that university's group. Alright, once you join that group, now you can actually go on and ask people on that group that, alright, hey, I'm going to this university, this is finalized, I want some more groups related to this university. Try and join all of these groups, all the groups that there are relating to that university. Alright, once you have done that, then you will see that there is particularly one housing group. If there's not, then people just from the admitted group, they will kind of collaborate with each other, find the roommates. But what happens most times is that you will find someone who is basically looking for a roommate. They'll post that this is the apartment, these are the details, this is the rent, these are the utilities that are included, the water, the electricity, the air conditioning, all of these things are included, and basically it's secure and all of that stuff, and you can kind of just join our league, and you can just stay with us. Alright, so that's something that is very common. It will happen a lot if you're going for the fall session, because I personally experienced this. I can tell you it will happen a lot around the months of June and July. Right, you will don't rush into any property or rush into finding any roommates just because even if you're getting an expensive property or it's not a good deal, don't rush into it. Alright, use your brain over here. Alright, don't rush into it just because you think that you won't get an apartment later. Trust me, people will get an apartment even at the end of July. I am telling you that, so don't worry. you will find the roommates, you will find people who are going in, so you don't need to rush any of that. All right, but however, you join these groups, and let's say that you find someone. All right, if you can't find anyone, just start randomly texting some people from the group. All right, hey, I'm looking for the for roommates for fall 19 session, fall 20 session, whatever it is. All right, I'm a guy who's going for a master's in CS. I don't smoke, I prefer vegetarians, whatever it is. Just let them know. All right, send this message to about 10-20 people, and I'm sure you will see that a lot of people will revert back with the same, hey man, I'm going for the same session, and yeah, let's actually look for some roommates, and then you'll find the group. All right, so that's one thing. All right, secondly, make sure that you know how many people you want to stay with. Okay, there can be 4 people in an apartment, there can be 2 people in an apartment, there can be 3 people there can be any number of people. All right, and it depends on what kind of rent you are willing to pay, what kind of financials you have, and according to that you will be able to find that, all right, I'm looking for, just let them know, whoever you are messaging, I'm looking for people who are able to pay around this much rent. And if you don't know the rent right now, don't worry, I'll tell you how you find that out. But I'm looking for people who are willing to stay in this apartment, in a group of 3, in a group of 4, whatever it is. All right, now a lot of times you will see that when you search for apartments in the US, they will be listed as 2B 1B or 1B 1B or 2B 2B. What does this mean? All right, so 2B 1B means that there's 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. All right, 1B 1B would mean similarly that there's 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. So the first B corresponds to the bedrooms and the second B corresponds to the bathrooms. If you didn't know that, just making sure that everything goes on here or smoothly. All right, now you want to make sure that you are either in a 1B 1B apartment. A lot of people stay in different conditions. If people want to reduce their rent very much, what they'll do is that 4 people might stay in a 1B 1B apartment, or sometimes 4 people might stay in a 2B 2B apartment, and that is the same thing to do. All right, you don't want to be cluttered in those 12 months. You don't want to be that you have no space, and basically you're not able to focus on your studies. That's the last thing that you want. All right, so you want to make sure that you are in a good apartment with good roommates who are compatible, and basically things should work out well enough. All right, so that's the one thing that should be on your mind. Secondly, what you will do is you will have to decide if you want to go in for off-campus housing or on-campus housing. Right now, a lot of people think that off-campus housing is cheaper, it's better, but let me tell you, I have actually found housing that is, I think that particularly in some universities, on-campus housing is better, it's safer, it's really a lot more secure, and it's near the college. So all of these things matter. I'll tell you which housing I chose at the end of this video, or in the middle of it once I explain the off-campus, on-campus scenario. But really, alright, these are the points you should keep in mind. And let me actually show you. Let's say that you are in one of those WhatsApp groups, you found your 2 or 3 roommates, whatever it is, and then you guys kind of collectively start looking for the rooms. You are looking to find a room, and you're looking to lease an apartment really, and you want to stay over there. So what kind of an apartment are you looking for? You decide that 1B 1B, 2B 1B, 2B 2B, whatever it is, you decide that, and then you kind of start looking for houses. Alright, over here I just wrote a simple query on Google, houses near USC, right, because I want housing for USC, and then I'll see that there are a lot of options. Let's say that I go on to one of these options. You can go for any option, doesn't matter. A lot of you will have to do a lot of search, of course. All right, so you see all of these options over here, you see all of these properties. Let's say that you like this one, right? Of course, consult your seniors before you get an off-campus apartment. They will be able to help you and let you know which areas are the cheapest, which areas are the safest. I personally did that. I know that if for the USC, the northern area is the best place to be, like Ellendale and all of these streets really. So they'll give you these street names that this is the cheapest, this is the best. So northern and the western areas for the USC are the best. Just saying, in case someone is going to the USC and watching this. So you actually go on and look at the apartments. You want to view the details. By the way, before you actually apply to off-campus housing, you will see that there's an application fee over here. For every apartment that you apply to, it's not that you're just applying, you're paying a fee that is close to $30 to $50, somewhere between that. Most houses have that kind of an apartment fee, application fee. So you have to pay that. They will ask you a whole lot of details about you. They'll take all of those details from you, your home countries, cards, even your residence information, and all of that information. They need it, of course, so they will take it from you there. It's not a simple process really. It's not like you just give them the money and you start staying over. It doesn't work like that, right? And you will even have to, like, once the lease is complete, it's made, you'll have to actually pay for 1 month's rent in advance. So basically that amount will be kept with the owner of the property, and you will get that amount back at the end of the lease, or maybe you don't have to pay for the last month, something like that happens. So really, you need to be aware of these things. I'm telling you about these. All right, so let's say you like this apartment, you check out the amenities. There's a refrigerator, air conditioner, laundry, all of these things, parking, 5 minutes walk to USC. Of course they're gonna write 5 minutes, but you should personally do the checking on Google Maps. All right, you can do that, it's easy. Then there's an option to actually schedule a showing or whatever it is. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna try and contact them. All right, by the way, this rent over here is $18.50 and up. Let's say the rent is $18.50. This $18.50 you'll get to know for sure if it is $18.50 or $2,000 or whatever it is. You will get to know when you actually mail them, and you have to just fill up this small form. Tell them that you can't be at the showing because you are outside of the US right now, but you want to actually buy the lease and you want in to the apartment. You want the apartment. So they'll kind of show you get you the details. They'll send you the pictures over Gmail or something. So that's how it will happen. All right, so you'll get all of those details from them, and of course they'll tell you all of these plans where you can bring in more people and you'll get a discount. All of these things just keep on happening. But all right, let me actually tell you what this $18.50 means. All right, what does this mean? Do you have to pay $1,850 every month? Well, in a way, yes. All the roommates combined have to pay $18.50. all right, and it's a 1-bedroom apartment, so mostly they are only going to allow 2 people. 2 people have to pay $18.50. all right, $18.50. So that will be split among you two. All right, let's say that you want more people in the apartment. You want 4 people in this single apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. You think that the dining room can be used as a bedroom or something. Well, definitely you can do that. I won't be the judge. If you want to do that, of course you can do that. Just don't sabotage your education, your studies over the apartment. All right, it's just not worth it in my opinion. But anyway, let's say you have 4 people in there. In that case, you might have to pay extra. The owners might ask you for extra $200 per month for 2 extra people in the apartment. That's how it happens on the off-campus housing. I experienced it myself. They ask extra money for more people. If more people opt into the apartment than are allowed, they will ask you $100 extra per month or something of that sort. Right now, the housing rates will vary from location to location. This is of course California probably, and this is Los Angeles. So this is probably the highest you will find, the highest prices. This area and the New York area, the housing prices are going to be way up than most other places. Other places it should be around $400-500 per person. Over here it's around $600 per person or more, right? So that's how it is going. Okay, but this is your off-campus housing. You find the apartment, you actually go over there, talk to them over Gmail, and build up the lease, and you do all of the process, make the payment and all of that. But what should you look for over here, right? I want to detail what should you actually take care of, right? So the first thing that you should take care of is the safety, right? It should be a protected area. For instance, over here at USC you have a DPS area, right? If you can see this red boundary, this is a DPS boundary, and DPS is really basically they have this for the protection of the students, and really it's a protected area. You might have something like that at your university, near your university, but make sure that your environment is safe and you are not really landing into an environment that is really unsafe, and you don't want to be dealing with all of that stuff when you are just a student. All right, so make sure that the rent can be a little higher, but the environment is safe. It's not some other country, it's the US. Things are a little bit different over there, so you want to make sure that your safety is your priority, and trust me, you don't want to compromise on that part. All right, great. Next thing that you want to look at is that your apartment should be close to the university. All right, you absolutely cannot travel to the university if it's more than 30 minutes away and you want to go over there. Think about this. All right, you go to the university, sometimes you might even have to come back for lunch, all of these things. So more than 1 hour, you can't do all of that commuting every single day that you're going back and forth so many times, and it's so far. That's not gonna work. All right, just think about it. It's gonna affect your education. It's gonna affect the time that you get. Everyone has only 24 hours. If you spend 3 hours traveling a day, it's just not gonna work for you over there. All right, so Make sure that the traveling part, you are clear on that. It shouldn't be, preferably I would say that it should be only about 15 minutes away, not more than that, but 30 minutes should be the limit, really, not more than that. All right, perfectly fine if you have a very cheap apartment somewhere far away, but and you're okay with that, but I wouldn't recommend it. Right, the next thing is that you should check if they provide the furniture. All right, they should at least provide the air conditioning, they should at least provide the refrigerators. All of this has to be included. All right, and you need to make sure of that. How you do that is you communicate with the people. If the amenities are not listed, of course the tables, the chairs, the beds, they're not going to be included in most off-campus apartments, but at least the refrigerator, the air conditioner, laundry machine, all of these things should be over there. All right, you should be able to take care of all of these things, and these are necessities that you shouldn't be made to pay for. Right, and if you have an apartment which is offering you tables and chairs and all of that stuff, even better. All right, I mean, the rent should be, of course, kind of relevant, but make sure that you're not overpaying for all of these things. Just calculate all of that all right, if I get all of these things with my roommates, this is what I'll have to pay, and all of these things. Okay, so make sure that you do your math over there, that all right, if I rent these, and if there's an apartment which is already offering me the furniture, well, what's the difference, and am I gaining something or not? All of these things have to be taken care of. Okay, so the next thing that you want to make sure is that includes some utilities. All right, the basic utilities like water and trash, you should at least not be made to pay for these universities. All right, water, trash, sometimes it could be even gas, you shouldn't have to pay for gas. All right, all of these things, if they are included and the owner is paying for them, that's much better than you dealing with all of these. That all right, your electricity bill is this. Electricity, of course, you'll have to pay for it in most cases, but the water, trash, gas, all of these things should be included, and you want to make sure that you're not taking on a headache that you have to deal with every single month. All right, so that would really help you out, of course. And the rent, of course, you should always compare by adding the rent of the amenities every month, and then compare with different apartments whenever you're doing that. Okay, great. The next thing you should do is you should check out the grocery shops. How far are they from that place? Are they nearby, or are they at a distance of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? More than that, it's going to be hectic for you, because you're going to need groceries every week. Probably you're going to have to go out, get your groceries. So all of these things you should have to really think about this. All right, you need to know that. And really, the US is very well covered by Google Maps. You can actually see that over Google Maps, or you can, sometimes they'll list it over here that all right, 15 minutes away from Ralph's, 15 minutes away from Manas, whatever it is. All of these Walmart, or all of these stores should be nearby. At least one store should be nearby that you can get your milk from, that you can get your eggs from, all of these things. So it is important. Right, the next thing, that of course, try and be close to the restaurants as well. That would, of course, also help you out. You cannot cook, like I personally have 5 to 6 meals a day. If I'm cooking that many times, I think it's going to be an issue. But all right, depends on the person. This is not a necessity, of course. Right, great. Next thing that you want to do is, if you're going for an off-campus apartment, chances are you won't be able to go and visit, so you should always ask them for the photos. They're all right, please send me some photos of the apartment. I want to see how it looks, I want to see how big the rooms are. Right, so all of these things you should take care of. Make sure that it's good, it's clean, and there are no, sometimes there's a lot of cockroaches, like I heard all of that, like at least near USC apartments. So make sure that there are none at your apartment. Ask them about it, whatever it takes. All right, so take care of all of these things. Of course, these are important too. Finally, two more things: the lease contract details. Read them carefully. Make sure you read the whole lease. And one more thing, all right, over here, this is the main difference between on-campus and off-campus housing. I'll show you actually. All right, so I am personally going in for on-campus housing. Right, this is the off-campus housing. You can see it, the price is really as low as we make it, around $500, $520, $530. That should do, but even then all the amenities won't be included, the furniture won't be included, all of that you have to pay for. Right, so that's the least, and most people are going around $600 when they are going in for off-campus apartments. Now when I saw this, I wanted to go for on-campus housing. All right, there are all of these graduate housing options over here. All right, they're not exactly on campus, but they're affiliated to the campus, I believe, so you can call them on campus housing. They're on the USC website, of course, so I believe that's good. So this is the apartment, this is really the building that I chose, Troy Hall. And over here you can see that basically you have all of these options: one bedroom, and again you can now see this room code 1B 2P means one bedroom where two people will be staying. Alright, 1B 3P, one bedroom where three people will be staying, so something like that. Alright, and the rents are mentioned over here. And of course, if you see off-campus housing, people are staying in such a cluttered environment, and I believe even this is better over here. Five person triple bedroom I think apartment. Sorry, 5 person. So it's actually a 2-bedroom apartment where we have 2 bedrooms. 2 people are going to be staying in one bedroom and 3 people in the other bedroom. So this is the room with 3 people. Alright. Anyway, you can actually see the floor plans. You can see how the rooms are designed over here. It's very clear. You can see all of that, right? 2-bedroom, 5-person room. Even this is pretty huge, and you have all of those beds and everything. You can see all of that, how many bathrooms there are, all of these things, right? And one thing that I wanted to particularly talk to you about was that, see, these apartments, they come with the furniture fully furnished. All right, so you can see it over here that they are fully furnished apartments, and the rents are probably even lesser than off-campus apartments, so that is good. The only thing is that if you are going for housing, make sure that you apply for on-campus apartments earlier. All right, somewhere around May should be your deadline. All right, at the end of May. After that, if you apply, you might not get anything. All right, so make sure that you apply in the month of May. Starting of May is also a good deadline. I would believe the earlier you can apply, the better. Apply for on-campus if you want to stay with people who are, well, from different countries, you can say. Right, you might not get the roommates who are all from your country, but that's a good thing. All right, you're going overseas, you want to gain new experiences, you want to network with people from different countries, learn more about their culture, learn more about their food, all of these things. All right, you want to do this. So personally I feel that way, so that's why I chose on-campus housing. I applied and I got the apartment just near the end of it. All right, like I think they were already out of apartments, but somehow I got it. I don't know how I actually inquired, but anyway, so one thing I want to talk to you about over here is the lease contract. Alright, over here you can see it's a 9-month contract, but in the case of off-campus housing, you will find that it's usually a 12. Alright, it's not written over here, but once you actually talk to these house owners, you will see that most contracts are for 12 months. Now consider this. Alright, after 9 months, when you're gonna be having your summer break again, you want to go for an internship. Right, in that case, let's say that you do not get an internship. In most cases, you won't get an internship very near to your college, right? It's only logical. How many companies are next to your college, right? So you won't get an internship very near to your college. What you're gonna do is you're gonna look for another apartment near that university, near that company's office. You're gonna do that. All right. What happens to this place? You're gonna end up paying rent for it every single month. Now you're paying rent over here and you're paying rent over there where you're living near the office, so it's double the rent. Now a lot of people actually evade this. They actually find sublets, and sublets are basically just people who are coming in for the summer courses at the university, so they would basically be staying in your apartment using your furniture, all of that stuff, but they will be paying the rent, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, so you have to pay double the rent. So make sure that your contract can, if it can be 9 months long, that is even better. Right, I'm getting a 9-month contract. There's nothing better. I'm getting the furniture. There's nothing better than that. Finally, you want to make sure that when you apply to the graduate portal, this is the most important part about the roommates. Right, your roommates should be of your kind. If you are a non-smoker, make sure they are non-smokers, because you don't want these issues coming up later on. Right, if you are a non-alcoholic, make sure not alcoholic, but you don't drink at all, and you're not comfortable with people drinking around you, just make sure that your roommates are the same way. All right, never settle for anything lesser than you deserve. All right, apart from that, if let's say you are a non-vegetarian and you only want non-vegetarian roommates, or maybe even vegetarians who are okay with you, make sure that's the case. Make sure that everything's working. All right, it's your responsibility to do that. Right, if you want people who like a silent room, who are not really very loud and not making a lot of noise, then make sure of that. Talk to your roommates. Communication is important, and that is really important. If you go on to this portal, USC housing, let's say on-campus housing, they will ask you all of these questions. But in case and they'll actually they'll have that algorithm where they'll pair you up with someone who is giving the same kind of answers. All right, but in case you're doing off-campus housing, in case you're going for that, make sure that you ask the questions, communicate with the people, and make sure that you know who you are getting in bed with, and that should be all. That should be enough. All right. So all of these things, make sure you take care of them, right? I'm gonna tell you again, your protected area, it should be safe, right? Then next, it should be close to the university. It should have some good furniture if possible, right? The amenities should be included. You shouldn't have to pay for everything, all right? And apart from that, the photos of the apartment, check if it's all right, right? Make sure that everything is good on that front. Your roommates should be compatible. All of that should be perfectly fine. And your lease duration, if possible, it should be 9 months instead of 12 months when you're going for fall session or any of those sessions where you're going to be staying over there for 2 years, right? So that's really everything. I know this video is a bit long, but I wanted to cover up everything in detail so that you know that really when you go in for the housing, how it goes on. And not all the deals are good. Sometimes you get the deals for off-campus housing, you want to contact seniors on LinkedIn, you want to show them that this is what I'm getting, is this worth it, is it worth going into it, is it worth even paying the application fee. You don't want to pay the application fee for this apartment and then that apartment and then there's another one, I think this is better, let's pay it again. So you don't want to do that, right? So make sure that you are good on that front. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover. If you still have any questions, I would love to help you. Just let me know whatever questions there are. Let me know on the YMGrad forums, let me know on my Instagram page. I will be there to help you throughout the process. I would love to do that as soon as I get the time, right? And I hope to see you in the next video. If you think that this video is helpful for someone who is going in for the next session, just tell them, give them the link, make sure that they know what they are getting into, because it's really, it sounds simple at times, but it's not. It's a complicated process, and you don't want to end up in an environment that you're not comfortable in for the next 12 months at least, right? So anyway, I hope you liked the video, and I would love to see you in the next video.